why I have then after continued to want to be a moderator and or administrator for any environment in real life on the internet, why I've wanted to be a moderator or administrator. So in other words, the acronyms for this one, without being too deep about what they mean to be acronyms, mod and admin. Why I wanted to be a mod and admin for any environment in real life on the internet. I don't know how to explain it any better. Which I'm not trying to compare. I'm supposed to really, at least in this video, get into the laws, rules, trauma a bit more than I did before with the Human Game Console podcast. Not just other traumas. Like I can't even begin to fit in like quality content and rape culture and other stuff in this video. Like I can at least fit in laws and rules and a tiny bit of communication skills trauma, maybe, but laws and rules for sure because that's what this involves. So but there's a bit of explaining I can do in the forefront. So if you indeed asked me, I may have explained this in the Human Game Console podcast, but I can up those, oh, by the way, both move podcast and Human Game Console. But if you asked me if I knew I was going to have a problem with following the rules, I would have said, that doesn't sound like me, but I don't know. I wouldn't have had thought any differently of it word for word. And now I'm not only legitimately an actual anarchist and even have these tendencies that dictate otherwise, that I don't mean to have problems with laws and rules. It's just that as a philosopher and even maybe a laming excuser, it can be like that anyway. So even with the problems I create for myself and other people's sakes and trying to be a better person in spite of what I do to ruin things on accident, there you go. So the laws and rules trauma is deliberately by design on my end of perspective connected to how I see things like moderation and administration. So it's like when I see business administration from like the career path thing, like after you graduate from school, maybe you become a business manager or something like that. Even that shit can seem a little hectic after the way I see laws and rules. Because imagine managing a team at work and the worst thing you have to do is enforce someone's misbehavior. That would be traumatic for me. And that's why I start to get into this really deeper. Because as even an anarchist or agorist, do I always call the police cockroaches? No. Believe it or not, I don't. I don't always call them cockroaches. I don't even always call them like the KK cops. Oh, they're never going. Don't wave at them. They're from the state government. No, I'm not like that in person. Not just as an escape. Not particularly to be afraid of that shit. As if I could hold myself for being still that tension. Because it's neither my intention to be that much of a bully, or even to actually mean a point to something that I could live for a better life for. Just because I behave like an anarchist, just because I am an anarchist, doesn't mean I have to be like that anyways. So I don't have to worry about calling the police cockroaches in that regard. However, with laws and rules in general, just because I intend to follow the rules doesn't mean I literally end up doing that, right? Right? So when we get into moderation and administration, one of the core reasons I try to be a mod or admin in certain environments and communities is to learn how mods and admins think. Is this crazy thinking? Maybe. But what do you think most of my childhood trauma is laced into? It's like, do you think that I would just be like, oh, I want to learn how to govern and manage and have security over a situation in any environment that helps me learn? And this is overcomplicated thinking anyways, a little too word solid, but even for me to say that as Tony Cashin, but for that matter, that I would simply just want to take care of a community and protect it from wrongdoers and even just do things. It wouldn't have to sound like laws and rules trauma at that point, but even then it suggests that it might be. It's sadly as direct as that doesn't have to be. But yeah, this is not limited to Incredibots. This is not limited to Waltrip High School. This is not limited to any environment where I have literally been, let's say, if not too personal or doxing. Sorry, Nemly. Sorry, Jack is a nerd. I keep making those references for some reason. But Coffin Andy Lele for that matter, or even whatever Jack made on YouTube before the Sniper Wolf incident. But neither which is that's neither Nemle or Jack is a nerd's fault. But they went through a lot of shit at that point, regardless of what their behavior suggested otherwise, or even their philosophies. Like for Nemle's sake, doxing is already bad, essentially. And for Jack's sake, he's not a bad person. So that's why I keep making the references. Is that doxing passion or not. whoever is your enemy or not. That's not. We always can respect our enemies even then. We can always respect what's right or wrong even then. So it's different. But and that even still can, even in an awkward taboo way, that still connects back into not other taboos, that it connects back into my laws and rules trauma. So when I mentioned in tandem quality content, rape culture, communication skills, the laws and rules trauma of this very video, and it's like, why do I have these traumas? Do I have to say that with the V2 model to make a point? Does that sound believable? Maybe so, but so anyways, being a mod or admin would not guarantee that I would understand the mods and admins I dealt with in the past, but the general consensus of what I would hopefully intend to recover from, with having to understand why not speaking English properly, not behaving right, not knowing the difference between right and wrong, not knowing why I should make quality content on YouTube, even though that's not the point in the first place, and how I dealt with people on a sexually intense and frustrating level. All these other traumas combined. And then, so laws and rules particularly. I don't intend to break the rules. I don't even do it on a creative level. A lot of what I would say with locus control and surrendering control, whether I had control or not, because it's different for those things. Different invigorating and blessed philosophies. Those are supposed to be positive and optimistic, and even attitudinal learning lessons. But like all the good shit. But you can only be not real for so long, right? You can't just drive everything with the ice cold JT style. I'm going to be invigorated, subjective shit, and then expect things to work out. Like there are some things that you just can't do with thought alone. Thought power is beautiful in its own right, but you had to take actions for other things. When you are deliberately typing on a plastic keyboard, using a ethereal wireless fidelity internet, and taking advantage of a very oddly specifically constructed PHP v version type 3 forum, internet forum. This is the cleverest nod I could make to Incredibots to date. When it's that specific, why do you think people like Billy Jim, I'm talking to myself here right now, why do you think people like Billy Jim Bob and AAA John are going to get on your case for things that may or may not have been your fault? Well, still doing a problem either way. Why do you think Matt Bob and Ziziva and freaking Environmental Bot, who are very dear to your friends while also not being close enough to you the way that you thought they were, why would they have to get on your case? Even if they still loved you. They did, by the way, but all of them loved me, but it's just different for extrovert multitasking I make myself out to be. But and IB would literally be the cornerstone of every other thing I thought about life as a whole, without needing to make a big deal about an errant form for a video game. And it's like, it certainly could have just been a fun place to hang out and not surrender too much locus control for this philosopher's ass, but then ended up being a laws and rules cornerstone anyway. So it's like, but if you were trying to learn how to be a better person, why did you have a sunk cost fallacy? Well, I didn't know how to leave IB anyways, but the thing was that even leaving school was weird, because it was like, I didn't know how to stop going to college. I was like, damn, dude, my colleagues are already frustrated with me. They loved me, but they didn't want to put up my crowd. And it's like, there's even one girl who keeps like, when I joined Snapchat, within a week she blocked me. And I already did my account anyways, but within the first week, my younger brother followed me, and one of my other friends and colleagues followed me. A few other people followed me on Snapchat as soon as I joined from the contacts list. She, within a week, this other girl's contact was unsearchable because she probably just blocked me at that point. She blocked me within a week to find out I was on Snapchat for the first time. And I didn't even do anything creepy at that point. Not even particularly since being her friend in college. It's like, couldn't blame her. Don't have Snapchat right now anyways, but just because the Snapchats won't stay on your phone for some reason. They can only be on your phone. If it's not on board the physical phone, you can't maintain an account. Different from TikTok and Reddit and other platforms, even Instagram. And that's the kind of energy I get between college and Incredibots. It's like, yeah, in high school and middle school and maybe even elementary. It's different from all the other side of education. I'm always grateful for the educational fields I had. A lot of them. I don't want to put all of them in question and name, but a lot of them. A collective experience I learned or didn't learn. There's even a wise woman I meet at work sometimes. She says that anything you learn, any source that you learn from, which can be colored out to this video already, any source that you learn from can count as learning, even if it's not a school education, right? So my laws and rules trauma with a lot of things. Cringe is cringe, advertising, trolling. What is cringe if it's not trolling? What is trolling if it's not cringe? That's trauma from this year or last year. But that I could shall work on anyways and shall heal and all that. The laws and rules trauma I have for not being a moderator admin in other environments because I'm afraid of what it would mean to be a rulership thing. Not in an anarchist level or agrist level, but like when it would mean that I would have to discern something that is against my own beliefs just because it by default is a design that traumatizes me. Okay, if you wrenched me on a live stream for YouTube and I was your moderator for your live stream, I could do, okay, so I think technically you can also be a moderator for the comment sections, but it's different. But whether that's traumatic or that's even possible or not, different philosophy, different even perspectives. But let's say you're wrenched for a YouTube live stream and you can moderate live streams. And that every time that almost happened for me, I was like, am I avoiding this on purpose because I have trauma, or because I wouldn't have done a good job anyways? And that's not supposed to be insecurity, but it technically is one. The former suggests the falsity of the laws and rules stuff already, whether it's trauma or not. Because whether it's falsity or trauma, it's different. But people don't even want to conceive philosophy with trauma, because why would they assume that being interested in philosophy is the same thing as being traumatized, something you technically have control over? Because people mostly have an ambition for creativity and philosophy and other things. When it's someone like me who's like, I would choose philosophy if it wasn't my survival, that's the same attitude I have with choosing creativity, with the hope that it's not my survival. But unfortunately, I have to be creative or I will fucking perish, right? I cannot not be an artist because it's part of who I am. It's the same energy I have with laws and rules. If I'm not an artist, if I'm not creative, I will perish. It's a part of my survival and my thriving. Not being creative is not wise, but also being creative with it as a trauma is also unfortunate. I can get into that in another video with the trusting creativity thing, but like with the cartooning stuff and the claymation stuff, it's different. It comes to even quality content trauma, but like, but for this video, for the modern admin stuff, for like laws and rules, it's like that's all you would really need to know about me so far. If that even didn't tell you anything at all, communication skills otherwise. But that's what I work with, is like wanting to learn about the moderators and admins from my past, to learn how what was in their heads. The way they was pushing me, like when Billy Jabab was chosen to focus on me, and I figured that out, and I even told him that, and he said that he was glad I knew that, because I was like that he was indeed chosen to govern me a little bit, or even foster and warded me a little bit while I was on the Crabbots. It was like, but you can imagine even on Gang Garrison 2, the interrelay chat for that one is like, why would they have to be on me for my case for communication skills, and even in some cases, quiet mute me in some gaming sessions, and it's like, no, because or even kick me out of what are they called? Not hubs, but the hubs when you have like teams pre-selected for any time. And I think Bullets had to kick me out of that one because it was like he had to be pre-selected, and it's like, dude, I didn't know that. Different. It's very trivial, but it's also like, so between the Crabbots and Ingestion 2, and then real life stuff like Wall Trip and college and even new tubers, Crime Out Gaming. And I'm not trying to predict too much about anyone else, or even at all, and Raymond from Time Puppet and all that stuff. Even the amount of times I simp for smoking sessions, and I think even both Alex's and Jason Nova know that I have that kind of ambition for them, whether I really am an extroverted multitasker or not. So simping that hard for my male friends, not just the female friends. But this concludes this video. Is like, this is not the last time since Human Game Console podcast or now that I talk about laws and rules as a trauma. But there you go. There's not gonna be a thumbnail for this video. No end card in 20 seconds, so I'll just end out 14. And then so it implies I would put it in if I do it on mobile, but after a desktop on mobile. I can put it on this phone, so this phone will even let me play lists and other shit, so it's different. I hope you guys are doing good. This has been Tony Cashman cartooning philosophy and strategy, and that strategy word is not by mistake.